Thank you for listening to the Cinema Creature Club. We hope you enjoyed this last episode.
And don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram at Cinema Creature Club. And also, if you guys have any suggestions on cool movies we should cover, shoot us an email at cinemacreatureclub@gmail.com. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome, everybody.
Today, we're going to be talking about the 1980 Canadian cult classic film, The Changling.
You know, that name, I looked it up, and it turns out it's a fairy tale about a fairy or some sort of gnome or whatever goes and changes your baby out. Yeah, it changes your baby out.
This is mischievous as no.
You just get another one.
Okay, just a little switcheroo.
Yeah.
You don't want that one. You don't want the first one. This one's better.
Yeah, but remember that.
Okay, that's interesting. When I first heard The Changeling, I didn't even think of this movie because I had never heard of it. Automatically, I thought of the Angelina Jolie movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that one. But...
No, and I think there's a Netflix series going on.
There's actually a lot of shit out there that's called The Changeling or just Changeling.
I just remember as a kid seeing it on the VHS wall, and we went to a VHS place. It was like in part of some kind of old gas station. But I remember seeing it on the wall, and I remember that picture vividly, and that was one of them. Next to 976 Evil and Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2. So I'm glad we got to see it.
Yes.
It was actually filmed right in December of 78. Took about till February 25th of 79. And then they released it in March 1980.
It's a process.
Mm-hmm. Then the original title was going to be The House on Chessman Park. But they didn't want that to get confused with the Italian horror at the time. The House on the Edge of the Park.
Dang.
Interesting.
Well, that's smart. They wanted to stand alone on their own.
Unlike those Italians who just slap on a director's name on everything.
I was just going to say, I was waiting for your comment to be like, well, that's real typical of the Italians. Yeah. They would have loved it. Oh, my goodness. So this, for me, is a slow burn haunted house type of tale. And I do love, movies and stuff and stories about haunted houses. My favorite will always be Amityville Horror. That's one of my favorite horror movies in general anyway. So that was like the first haunted house type movie I ever saw. So every time I've seen something after that, I always compare it to that. So that's the mindset, the mentality that I had going into this. I was like, I wonder what if they're going to have similarities or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really liked it also because I feel like instead of like your typical haunting house or scary movie, you expect a lot of the jump scares and gore and stuff like that. And this film really didn't need all of that to get its point across. It did a really good job with just the whole vibe of the film, with the music and the camera shots and stuff like that, where and the slow burn effect to it like really built the suspense in it. So I really appreciate that. It just shows you that in order to be a good scary movie, you don't need all of that extra shit that we're just so used to seeing. Right. Like now in our age, we characterize good horror films by how much gore it has and jump scares and all of that kind of stuff. But really, we don't really need all of that. So
right. I think I read Stephen King said, didn't need any kind of things coming out of anybody's chest or aliens or gore like that. Just a bouncing ball. And that frightened him enough.
Yeah. This follows a gentleman who is a composer. I guess, we learn later that he's kind of like a famous or just well-known composer. and he recently becomes widowed. He lost his wife and daughter in a tragic accident.
Let's talk about that.
You want to talk about the accident?
Let's talk about the accident. I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Tay. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, so the film opens up and we see just it's snowy and this family is pushing their vehicle, trying to get it off of the road. And I'll let you, you're so passionate about it.
Well, because this 18-wheeler comes barreling down, and somehow they pushed it somewhere where there's a public telephone, right? So he gets in the telephone booth, and they're playing. The kid and the wife are playing with snow, and this 18-wheeler comes down, and he sees the 18-wheeler, and he turns and he sees like a station wagon coming down. At the same time, he's like thinking, like, okay, it's gonna happen, right? And he's like, no, but he still has the phone in his hand. So I'll give him that he was frightened. I'll give him, he froze. Okay, let's say that he froze.
And he was like pounding on the door.
He had
and
enough time to look.
He's like, he trapped himself in there. Like he just couldn't open the door.
He was in there, just like Ron Burgundy.
Trapped. Glass case of emotion.
Yes.
Because I've never been in a photo booth or a phone booth like that. But I think like just from seeing like, fucking Seinfeld and shit, you just hit it a certain way and the door collapses.
Yeah. He
to
couldn't
let
get
you
out.
in. He
didn't know how to slide it back open. And so anyways, the mom sees this and she grabs the child and all they do is fall backwards.
she grabs her and it's like timber. She just
grabs him, jumps down, and then like I don't know, a couple of seconds later,
at least a side jump or something.
You saw it coming. Get out of the way. What's wrong with this family? They just freeze.
She just said, "Oh well, fuck it."
Like those goats that you poke at, and then they
just tip over.
That's exactly what she did.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that would traumatize me too. So
she was just like, "Fuck."
Mm-hmm. So he had to deal with all that. I'm sure he gets all this money because I don't know. Looked like he would get some kind of money. He buys that house. It looks like an old mansion. And you had talked about that house.
Yeah, he takes some time off and then he is ready to just start new. He relocates to Seattle and he's meeting up with some buddies, I guess, and he's just explaining that, he couldn't be in the house anymore. He's losing it. He needs to keep busy. And they're like, okay, cool. Well, we have a teaching job for you. And he's like, sweet, I'll take it. Mm-hmm. And then they also come across he meets this woman, Claire, who works for the Historical Preservation Society. And she's like, oh, well, I'm sure that there's a house that we can lease to you or whatever, so you have your own private space. We know you're a composer and you want to have your own space to do that and stuff like that. The fun fact about the woman who plays Claire, she's actually the main actor's wife in real life.
Right. Oh, we didn't mention it's George C. Scott, and he plays the character John Russell. And you're talking about Trish Van Devere. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't write her name.
Yeah. I might not pronounce
just
that
General
right.
Patton.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in General Patton.
Just General
Fun
Patton.
fact, he declined that Oscar. He didn't want that Oscar, but he won the Oscar for General Patton. I knew him from the guy who was in Exorcist 3. Like, I knew that was him just by his voice. But yeah, he's married to her, and they've done over 6 films together. Yeah,
so this was actually their 8th and final film that they did together. And I didn't read further. I was like, oh, they probably just got divorced. It's probably what happened.
A couple of other people have seen the movie, and they asked immediately in the beginning, are they married in the movie? Like, they thought there was like a couple. They thought the couple... And they're not. Well,
they
really
have like
a couple.
this little chemistry throughout the movie. They kind of have a little something.
I think because of the house, but they don't really make out or anything like that. So there's no titties in this one.
Yeah. No, actually, there's not. I'm so sorry,
no titties
guys.
in this one. Yep.
Titty free.
Trish keeps them up.
She does, a classy lady. So he learns that the house has been abandoned for over 12 years. I could just keep thinking, why do you need that space? All that space.
She's like, well, there's a music room and you play piano, right? And he's like, yeah, I'll buy this grand house, which in real life
Whatever.
didn't exist. They said that they
Yeah.
had to buy some crazy house and put some stuff in front, and the interior was shot from a bunch of connected studio sets and everything. But I mean, what can you get? They're trying to buy a house at $200,000 to look like a mansion. No.
Yeah. So the house is super beautiful. He is introduced to this kind of like maintenance guy who just kind of takes care of the home. So he meets him. We don't really have much of a relationship with this character, but it's important to know that he's there, I guess. I love the POV shots throughout this film. And it kind of starts here where it's we just see like a set of eyes, like, you know, having a set of eyes that are on him, that are watching him. And he gets up abruptly from his piano. He's having a little jam sesh, and he goes to get a package or whatever. And then we get a pan in on the piano, and one key is pressed down, and it has like that really deep, ominous tone. So that's the first sight we have of something is afoot.
I mean, it wasn't working when he was hitting it. Remember, he was hitting it. It was like deadened. And then, he saw the door open and he gets up. And now that you're saying the whole eyes POV thing, I think you nailed it, because if I'm wrong, most of those shots are kind of like at waist level. So I guess keep that in mind too. Yeah,
that's true. So he attends his first class that he is at the college that his, I guess, friends hooked him up with a job. And it is very obvious that people were fighting to get into that little workshop because it is like filled to the brim. And he's just kind of like, you know, being like cheeky, but he's kind of like, he knows he's the shit, but he's like, oh, I'm going to just be funny. He's like, oh God, you guys have nothing better else to do, God, than be here. Like, oh my God, I guess I'll play something for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He definitely tooted his own horn.
Yeah, for sure. But it's kind of cool because like, poor guy, he's like gone through it, right? He's lost his whole family. He's at some type of after party where he meets up with that woman Claire, and he meets her mom, who is also like tied into the historical society. And then Senator Joseph Carmichael is introduced to deliver a speech during this event. It's like a gala kind of thing. And Claire's like, oh, well, he's actually like on the board of this preservation society, and he's our biggest philanthropist. So he just has tons of money is what it boils down to.
Right.
He gets home from a late night of schmoozing. He hears this deep thudding noise, which is very specific. You'll find the exact source of that thumping. It's just very... once you see it, what that's coming from, you're like, oh, that's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds like someone banging a solid pole in a stifled room.
Yeah.
Like, and I like how they use the effect of the more you focus on it, the louder and obnoxious it sounds. The more reverb it has, the more it fills up that space. Like, it becomes apparent, like, you need to take note of this sound. Like,
or it's like the more attention that you're giving it, it's like, yeah, that's right. You hear that shit? I can get louder.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what I really like about this thudding that you hear in this movie versus like other movies that we're used to seeing, like, let's say for The Conjuring, for example, where, you know, there's a very specific 3 knocks or 3 little thuds at the witching hour, that kind of thing. But that's not the case at all here.
Not at all.
It's just a very persistent thudding, like a drum that's like calling him kind of thing. So it's like super duper intentional in this film, and I really like that. So he hears all of this and he's like, all right, well, that's strange. Anyway, and he just wants to start writing music.
He does that every time, like when he was in the piano room and the door opened or whatever. And he's like, is anybody in here? And then the maintenance guy comes in and goes, who's in here? And he goes, nobody. But when he saw the maintenance guy, he was like, oh, I'm relieved.
Whatever. And it's like, bitch, that doesn't explain.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't explain fucking anything.
The door.
The opposite side of the other room, like at the front door. how do you find any comfort in him just to be like,
Yeah.
nah, whatever? Like,
It was
no
you.
big deal. Yeah, whatever.
Somehow you did it.
So stupid. But I love when he's like having his jam sesh moment. He's just got the cigarette barely hanging in his mouth.
Hell yeah. And he has that reel to reel player that he clicks on.
Yeah, it made me laugh.
So let me compose.
Claire pops in, and she's like, "Hey, I got some like original stuff from the house to come bring you." And he's like, "Oh, cool, yeah, let's looking at it." And he's looking at her in her little getup, and I have to talk about her getup here. She looks like she's going to go riding, like a horse ride, and he picks up on that. And he's like, "Oh, do you ride?" And she's like, "Yeah." They have like a little chemistry. They really do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's like, let me go get my horse.
Yeah, like, hey, you want to go riding? But like, can I borrow a horse though?
Yeah, when did you get a horse?
I kind of need a horse. So, but her hat is what got me, and it made me laugh because it just reminded me of A Clockwork Orange.
Oh my god, that bowler hat.
Yes.
Yep.
And I was just like, okay, bitch, work with your hat. That's fine.
Big ass boots.
This is so funny. They're just on their little, I guess their little date or whatever, going through it's like by a lake. But I thought it was funny because then they pan up to them and they're like in the fucking woods. Like,
yeah,
this is not
ass woods.
I was like, why are they taking these horses? Not that the horses can't handle it, but why are you in the middle of the fucking forest?
Where else is she gonna fall down? Oh, help me.
I fucking guess.
It's like
Poor
they
guy.
didn't know how to get the horse back.
We're in the house. He's in bed, just sobbing, crying his eyes out. And that thudding happens again. And he's like, and he hears it. And he's like, can I have a fucking minute?
Ruined my moment. I'm not supposed to have fun. I'm supposed to be grieving.
I know, and I like this cute bitch riding horses and shit. Now I'm crying because my wife is dead, and then I can't even cry in peace.
You're knocking away. And it fills up the whole house. They show shots across the house, right? Like in the stairwell,
just echoing.
Yeah, and you can tell it's nerve wracking, that sound.
Mm-hmm. Immediately calls a plumber because it's got to be the pipes in the house, which is a valid thought. Mm-hmm. I mean, because as homes age and stuff, the water makes the pipes rattle and you have to get them strapped and stuff like that. I think that's how that works. I don't know. And so it's just funny, but obviously we all know that that's not what the true problem is. He's composing. He has like this little workshop in his house with, I guess, his elite few from the class. That he had. He like invited them. You want kids? You want to come play music at my house?
Yeah.
They're like, okay, sure. Yeah, singing. Whatever. So they're just there having their little jam sessions. Everybody leaves, and then he starts hearing laughter, like children's laughter, and he's like, "That's weird." Then we hear running water. And just like with the other thudding, we hear it like echoing through the house. And he's like, what? That's so strange. Like, where is that coming from? And as he gets closer to find that the water's running in the sink, it abruptly stops. And then we hear more water running somewhere. Sounds like a shower to me. And he just starts listening and
stirring around.
Like you said, like it starts getting progressively louder and louder and louder. And I've noticed this element too a couple different times in this movie is it's like the house is playing hot or cold with him. Because I feel like as he gets closer, it's getting louder and it's like, oh, warmer. So I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if anybody else.
Heart attack from running around the damn house.
I know. Yeah. Oh, his annoyance plays out later and I fucking love it. I love it. He approaches the bathroom with the tub filling and he's just kind of perplexed, like, how could this be? And he just kind of looks and then he has like this vision of this little boy under the water and they're just kind of like looking at each other and he's like, I mean, he freaks out a little bit, but he's just like, what weird. You doing in there? He's like, what's going on in there? That's a little weird. And then also I have to point out this house is just so fucking big. Just watching him go up all of these like flights of stairs trying to follow these noises. Like I'm in my mid 30s. He's no spring chicken.
Oh
I
no.
hate going upstairs. I know
And he
those knees
smokes
hurt.
cigarettes.
Right? Yeah.
He smokes cigarettes like on a regular.
He's smoking those reds.
Cowboy killer. And he's just running up around the stairs and shit.
Mm-hmm. Next day, immediately, he's like, I'm going to the historical society. I need some fucking answers. Like,
Right.
I could deal with the little noises and stuff like that, but like, I saw a kid in the tub. Like, what's going on? And, you know, he's talking to one of the ladies. Claire is just kind of like, dude, you know what? Like, you're just being silly. You're just tired, whatever. And then that older bitch in there, and she's like, mm-hmm.
You don't want those documents.
Mm-mm,
They had
don't
to
ask
ask
me.
for them. Yeah. We gave you everything. No, I'm talking about anything before 1960 or I forgot what the
Yeah.
time was.
When we know that house has been there since the 1800s.
1860, yeah. And she was like, okay.
Yeah, and she's just like, well, I mean, I don't know how you got that house, but, and also it doesn't want people.
Yeah.
Anyway. And he's just like, what? And she's like, oh my, I guess I said too much. I gotta go.
My stars.
Yeah, she just skedads. And so he's super curious now. He's like, okay, what's going on? Gets back to the house and he's just looking at the exterior of the house and it just looks so shitty, decrepit, and just gross. And
Just what
he
you think it would look like.
notices, yeah. I mean, I would, if
Fucking haunted.
if I were a ghost and I were stuck in a fucking dusty, nasty ass house, I'd be haunting it too. I'd be pissed. Can somebody clean this up for me?
Just like the others.
Yeah, I would do what I could, but you see, I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
And it's not how my life is set up anymore.
All I could do is make noise.
Yeah. So we say he, but you know, whatever. The spirit is, he notices there's some glass and it's red. And he's like looking at the house and he's like, why is the glass on the floor? And he's like looking, he's like, okay, there's no red window panes anywhere. And then he zooms at the very tippity top of the right corner of the house. And there is like an attic window with a little tiny decorative red
Yeah, stained glass.
glass. Yeah, which is crazy. The shot that it gives, that glass got thrown far.
Something popped it out.
Yeah, and that's also another thing to take into consideration. The glass was on the outside of the house, so somebody was trying to get out. And the house obviously is just very desperate to get his attention.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's starting to work. He's getting really intrigued and he starts looking around the house and he hears this thudding and then he follows it and he goes into this closet and the thudding is loud and very quickly he realizes that there's like shelving that's blocking a door. So naturally he just starts fucking up the shelving. He starts just throwing everything out.
Just
the door
like
has
Rosemary's Baby. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Same
So
thing, yeah.
I got that vibe too. And so there's a padlock that's on the door. So if it wasn't obvious enough that they were trying to hide that door with the shelving, well, they also have a lock on there. And he starts trying to hit the lock. And I really liked this scene where each time he would hit the lock, the house would get louder and louder. And it was just like a pissing contest of like who's going to be the loudest. Right. And that's why I was saying, it's like, is the house playing hot or cold? And he's like right where it wants it to go.
I mean, I think so, because as he's hitting it, you know, it's the same noise, that thudding that we've heard. Mm-hmm. And eventually he starts to get in sync. And as he gets in sync, you could see his face of realization that he's making that noise, that same noise that he's been hearing. So it's kind of like, all right, well, is it a premonition of a sort that he was going to know that that noise is going to become relevant? But yeah, kind of gives you that vibe that the house is trying to like compete with him on it as well. Yeah.
So the lock's off, and then it's so funny because the door, it's not like he has to like, you know, hit the door to open the door. It's like, fuck, okay, god damn. like it just opens up right as soon as he takes the lock off. Like the door just gave up. Like, whatever, I guess you really wanted to come in.
Yeah, trying to help you out.
I know, just doing my job. So he's walking up there and he sees the flights of stairs that lead up to this just really dusty, nasty, cobweb filled room that's just got a bunch of like furniture in there. We see a desk, we see like some tables, more cobwebs and dust, and we see what looks like an old school wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have
Which is
to
on the
kind of look
cover.
at it twice.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a wheelchair that's on the cover of the movie, on the movie
Yeah.
poster, theatrical movie.
So, and it's a small wheelchair, so we gather like, well, I guess that's like for a kid, because
Right.
also in the room like where the desk is, we see like little figurines and like
A
a
music box.
workbook and the music box. He
Yeah.
sees this music box and it's really cool, and I thought it was really neat. It's like that thing was wound up tight to wait for somebody to open it, because as soon as he flips that thing open, it starts playing this tune, and he kind of has like this come to moment, and he's like, well, why is that such a familiar tune?
This the
Wait a
one he's.
minute.
Yeah.
It's the one that he thought in his mind he composed
Right, and he
when
was
he
trying
was
to
having
figure
his
out
little
that
jam
next note.
sesh with a cigarette. He was just there, just jamming, and then he hears that same tune, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute,
That's
it's actually
weird.
finishing what I was looking up, what I was trying to do. It's finishing it.
Yeah,
Fun thing about that music box is it has the name of the song on there, and that's not even the song that they play. They're playing.
really.
It's called the music box, and that's a theme song for the movie, and that's what they're listening to the whole time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but yeah,
And then on the box it has like a fancy like symphony number,
yeah,
blah 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 blah.
it was Lullaby in F, Mary Plowboy, the air of a German song. I had to look it up. But yeah, it's not even playing that. They're playing what they made up for the movie. And
Interesting.
yeah, it's nuts. Oh yeah, and at the same time, on that journal that you were talking about, it was dated what, 1901, I think is what it was
1909.
1909. So, that gives you some insight of like, okay, they've only could find records from like 1860 or something. And he wanted to know like, hey, who lives here before
The in between.
that? Yeah.
Like, or like in the in between. And that was one of the years that was like on the in between that he wanted to know about. So he's like, these liars.
Right. I found proof.
Mm-hmm.
Or the house showed me proof.
Yeah. He is now, we're getting to the point where he's like, okay, that's something a little weird. I don't know about this anymore. So he calls his pseudo girlfriend Claire, and he's like, hey girl, like this is the stuff that's happening. Like I need you to come check this out. And he shows her like that the songs are the same. Like he's like trying to tell her like something is going on. I don't know about this. And he shows her the room and things like that, and she's just kind of like freaked out about it, just kind of like, oh well, yeah, that's like a little weird. And he's going through that file, and then they start doing some research about who lived there, and he comes across where there was a doctor that lived there with a daughter who dies in a very similar way that his daughter happened to die. It was a tragic accident that could have been avoided. And she died in a tragic way. And so it just kind of is like, that's really weird. Like, what a strange coincidence. And then we hear little tapping down the stairs, and we see a ball. And it's the ball that was his daughter's. That's like seems to be like one of the only things he kept from his previous life before he packed up and moved. And he held on to that ball and he put it near his piano. So he was kind of like, that's weird. Why?
Yeah, how'd it get there? How did that happen?
Yeah,
so
that's
so
weird.
It gives you two things, right? Like it knows his past and it's playing with the toy. So, I guess, on that note about the ball, I think Stephen King had said that there isn't any gore or anything, happening, crazy, just that ball. And that was enough to frighten him. throughout the whole movie, and it's kind of true. Like that ball comes down the stairs, and it's like, well, where did it come from?
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't even close to where he had left it, and he's the
Yeah.
only one that lives there besides the maintenance people. But it's at night, you know.
Yeah. And then he's like, the hell, this ain't my ball. I'm going to go over to my storage box and it's empty. It's because he's holding it. So that ball was taken from there.
Like, this has to be somebody else's that mysteriously showed up.
Yeah. So, so he gets so like frustrated, and then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna fix this ghost wagon. I'm gonna just take the ball that's my daughter's that I love so much, and I'm just gonna throw it over a bridge.
Yeah,
it's a little
so you come back.
It seems like very like hasty. Like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, this belonged to your kid. Why are you
at this
throwing
point?
it over
He's
the
kind of
bridge?
unraveling, though. You know, he's kind of like in denial. He's just covered it up. You know, I don't know. Like, if there's a ghost sitting on his couch, you'd throw a blanket over it, like it doesn't
He's
exist.
like, hey, stop it! Claire's coming over. I need you to cut it out.
That's what I'm kind of
Company's
gathering.
coming over.
Like, he's accepting it, but at the same time, he's fighting it. So
yeah. Oh my God. So we know that Claire is kind of like, now she's
invested.
She's invested, and she's like, yeah, dude, I think you really need to like get out of that house. And he's like, I told you something's going on. Like, he doesn't want to leave. He wants to like figure it out.
Yeah. And
so,
you know, I could be jumping a little further, but I don't remember quite exactly how he found out where to go digging.
It's coming up.
Okay, because that's how invested he is, right? He's like really diving into this.
He's so invested that he tells Claire, look, bitch, you better find me a clairvoyant. You better find me a fucking medium. Right. I need some experienced people to help me out. And she obliges, and she's like, okay, for sure. So that's exactly what they do. Like, I think of like Insidious style, like when they do their seances, they're all just sitting at the table. And she's actually, I'm glad I said Insidious, because that's what the main chick in Insidious, I forgot her name, the one, but she's there and she's like drawing shit, and like that's how they get their communication. They listen to what the spirits are telling them, and they project it out and write it out like on a piece of paper. So immediately she's just there asking, and she's just like writing on paper, scribbling and stuff like that, and trying to get some information. She's asking questions. Did you die in this house?
And she's just scribbling the whole time, and this guy's kind of like reading what she's writing.
Yeah, and then it starts coming out where, okay, this is a kid that lives here, and they died in a tragic way, and they're not happy, they're unsettled, and I'm asking, you know, the questions now that we know the history of the little girl Cora, the one that died very similarly to his daughter. They're like, okay, is it her? That this has got to be the little girl that's here. And so they're trying to communicate to her, and they find out, the ghost confirms, like, no, that one's not me. This is someone else. And so they're like, fuck, like, you can tell like how many people have died, how many kids have died in this house.
Exactly.
They bust out this, I don't know, it's like the cone. Look, I don't know about this stuff, like what the equipment is called. But instead of the drawing, it's like that tall, I don't know, cone looking thing that shakes and rattles like whenever they're talking to them.
I don't know what to call it either.
I don't know what that thing is, or like what purpose it serves other than like moving around. So that happens, and so they're doing more chatting with it, and then we can really start to hear what this kid is telling her. And then also remember, they're recording this, right? Just like every other like little seance thing that we've seen in movies. But they actually start hearing his name. Like, you definitely hear the ghost speaking, and he says his name is Joseph.
Right.
Then we hear
it back and forth. You know? I like that he does that. I like that he records stuff.
Yeah. And so we learned that this kid's name is Joseph, and then we hear things like, father, my father. And they're like, okay, how did you die? And they're like, oh, my father. And they're really trying to get an idea of like what they're speaking to. And we hear, father took my medal, which I also just want to say the fact that they refer to a necklace as a medal irritates the living shit out of me.
It's a pendant.
Because when I think of fucking medal, I think of like, yay, first place in my soccer tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not a regular necklace with a
A
pendant.
prized, yeah, like a prized piglet at a county fair gets a medal or ribbon.
Yeah, like it's like why did they call it that? I don't know if it was just the times. I don't know. I thought it was strange.
That is,
Um,
it is.
we see that this the connection of that thudding that we're hearing because John is having a vision. It's coming to him where we see a little boy drowning in a bathtub at the hands of his father. So quite literally the ghost is telling us, no, my dad, da da da, and then he gets his vision simultaneously of this kid who is disabled. He was in a wheelchair, and so obviously he needs help, taking baths and stuff like that. So we see his dad just grab him by the legs, knowing he can't fucking move him to like save himself. And he just straight up drowns this kid in the bathtub. And then we see the necklace
in front of a fucking fireplace, mind you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a weird visual because you see like the shadow of the dad, and it was just weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was a pretty cool scene because you hear him clanking around in the tub with his fists, trying to he's like obviously struggling because he's, getting murdered. And so we see where that thudding sound originates from. It's him thumping on that bathtub. And so him doing that call to get John to follow him all the way up there so he could have this moment and see, put two and two together. Claire, she's freaking out, right? She's just having a moment because she's also present there for everything, because she's also invested in this now, and she's just crying. And then she says that she starts talking about an orphanage because in the recordings during the seance you can hear Sacred Heart being brought up, and nobody could understand the connection with Sacred Heart. And so Claire was like, oh well, actually there used to be an orphanage called Sacred Heart. And yeah, it was like, oh, okay, bitch. So you did know something about this.
Yeah, exactly. You said you didn't know shit.
Like, bitch, you've been holding out on me. Like, what the hell? So John's very smart, and he starts putting two and two together, and he starts telling her, like, hey, what if it's this kid that died in the attic, and it used to be an orphan. There's the orphanages involved, and that Joseph died in the attic, and she freaks out and she leaves the room only to be greeted by that wheelchair that's right there at the top of the stairs. It's like the house knew, like, oh, okay, y'all are getting it. Let me just make an appearance real quick. Let me let you know. I know you know now.
Yeah, you're gonna figure it out, and John's not the only one.
Thank you for being smart enough to figure it out. It only took you a while, like Jesus. Like for some reason this wheelchair has an attitude.
It does. It's all aggressive. It's a wicker wheelchair. Has like those 3 wheels, one in the front that swivels.
So we also learned that Senator Carmichael also has ties to this home because of the last name Carmichael, and previous owners that have been in that house have also had the last name Carmichael. And he's just kind of like thinking like, is that a coincidence? I don't really know about that. So he wants to kind of like research it, and he meets up with Claire. They confirm that the senator's father, Richard, previously occupied the home. And then it just somehow clicks for him. He's like, wait a minute. So this makes sense. Maybe because now that we know that this family is very rich, that they're due an inheritance, but only to the child as so long as they live to be 21 years old. And if this child doesn't live that long, then the money essentially just goes to waste. So John's thinking maybe this kid got killed by his dad because he knew he was due to get that inheritance. And he knew that his kid wasn't likely to make it to age 21. And so he's just like, let me just kill this kid real quick. I'll get me a mail order fucking orphan, and his name is going to be, that's Joseph. That's the guy. That's my kid. And all this time, all these years pass by where nobody has contact with this family. And then he comes back as an 18-year-old and he's cured and nobody questions it because they went away for medical treatment. And really, he just relocated to bide enough time to get people to like not be suspicious.
Yep,
it's basically what happens. And that he's proposing that child, the replacement child, is the senator.
Right.
He just has it. He has this idea. He's like, I know it's true.
Yeah, and he knows. Okay, first of all, I think that's why it's called the Changeling, because of that whole swap.
They do mention that at the end.
Yeah. And then the second thing is, he knows because I'm going to do it anyways. Sorry. They go to a house. They find out where that house was, and where that kid got killed and was buried in under the baseboards and stuff. So they get out and they find it, and he denies to the cops that he has any involvement. He doesn't know anything that's going on. He's doing his own investigation, and then he goes back. He breaks into the crime scene, and he's in there in that pit, and he finds, it comes out of the ground for him. You know how they do the reverse photography, right? So it comes out of the ground, and he grabs it, and it's his pendant, the metal that you're talking about, right? So he uses that to confront Senator Carmichael.
At the airport.
And he's acting crazy too. Like, I got your pendant, you dumb fuck.
Yeah. But it's funny because he's like looking at it and you can tell that he's making he's like, a
lot of realizations. Familiar. They said that that George C. Scott did a really great job in the movie. And some of the other people were a little intimidated because of how good his acting was in the movie. But because he was that good, the director said that he had one little problem with him, and it was because they had accidentally knocked over his chessboard that he was playing with the whole time he was filming, and that he got all pissed off about that.
Lost his progress.
He had some seriousness to him, and so in that movie, like you're talking about his realizations, like he has done that already like 2 or 3 times by this time. Come on. So it's really good. He's a really good actor.
Yeah, I liked it too that he showed like his development, like where he's like cool, calm, and collected, very passive, and then he starts slowly getting a little crazier, and he's like becoming consumed. And I don't know, in his hair, that hair,
his hair goes crazy.
But what I do like about it too is he's going crazy not because the house is possessing him, like no entity is possessing him.
No.
In any way. They're just, that house is just spitting so much fact to him that he doesn't know how to process it, and he's trying to wrap his head around and like unravel this mystery that it's making him crazy. He's not getting possessed.
No, he feels obligated, and he has this desire, this human desire to figure it out. Like, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah. So the senator doesn't buy anything. He's just like, this guy's crazy. Like, I'm out. And then he gets a message that there's this detective that's trying to reach him. And he's like, oh, well, when I arrive over in Washington or in Spokane, like just tell this cop to call me back or whatever. And so, okay, he goes about his merry way on his PJ, his private jet. And John is at the house, and he gets paid a visit by the same officer that was trying to get a hold of Senator Carmichael. And it's like he's coming there on behalf of the senator. And he's just kind of like, what do you fucking think you're doing? You're trying to tarnish the senator's name. Like, you're just making all of this shit up. Like, we know that you have Senator Carmichael's pendant, and we want it back, and you better give that shit back now. And he's like, I ain't giving you shit. First of all, I don't know what you're talking about. Second of all, this is my motherfucking house. Like, he starts
finders keepers, bitch.
Yeah, he's like, no, we're not doing anything. We're not doing any of that. So I thought it was just kind of funny that he's just, this cop is like making all these demands, and he's like, I don't have to fucking do anything that you're talking about. I'm not blackmailing the guy. I'm just trying to find this shit out. And the cop is like, either you give me the necklace or I'm going to get a warrant and I'm going to tear this shit up. And Claire's like, oh my God, what's going on? Because she just happens to show up in convenient time. Just like, guys, why are you fighting?
Talking shit when she walked in the door.
Yeah. And so he's like, I'm going to get a warrant. He's like, all right, cool. Can he leave? And so he leaves. And Claire is just, she's just done. She's like, you know what? I can't fucking take this shit no more. So she leaves and she calls him in a panic like minutes later. And she's like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe who just got into a car accident and died. It was the cop that was just here.
Damn.
I know. Like, he just flips his little car over with no explanation. They're like talking about how there was no traffic or, yeah. Coincidence? I don't think so. And so we're back to the senator. He gets a message that the cop died, and then he gets the name of John Russell, which is the occupant of the house, and he wants a fucking word. The senator is like, you want to fucking talk? Let's fucking talk. So they get face to face. It's like he summoned him to his like mini White House where he is, and they're talking, and the senator is so upset talking about the house. John shows him the necklace, and he's like, oh, does this look familiar? Now do you want to fucking talk? And it's like he's like in such denial, and he's like, that's my necklace. And he reaches in and he's like, oh, I have my necklace on. Like, what the fuck? And so John is like, look, I'm going to tell you what's what. I think this is where he said, you're the changeling. He explains the whole thing to him, like why he thinks that he's there. He's not really Joseph Carmichael. He's the replacement of the real Joseph Carmichael that his dad murdered. And he's just like, first of all, you're fucking telling me my dad's not my dad. And then you're telling me that I'm not who I say I am. Like, he's just getting fucking pissed.
And you're saying my dad's a murderer, and you're telling me that you saw it, because he's like, I watched it all.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me about my fucking life. And so immediately he gets his checkbook out and he's like, all right, just tell me how much do you want? Like, I deal with motherfuckers like you all day. Yeah. And he's like, bitch, I got my own fucking money. I don't want your money. And so it's just funny that like just typical rich person, like, oh, look, do away with you. How many million do you want? Yeah, that's okay. I'll just write it off. Whatever. And it was just kind of like, Grandpa's got some fucking threats under his belt.
Like, come over here and tell me my daddy is some kind of murderer, slander his
Come on,
name.
get. So, and meanwhile, when this is going on, he's with the senator. Claire's trying to call him, but the line is busy. So she starts freaking out and she's like, Mom, I gotta go to this fucking house because I can't get a hold of my boy John. And they both meet at the house, and it's just crazy because she's chased by this wheelchair. Everyone had told you this wheelchair had like an attitude.
It's aggressive.
Yeah, like she sees the wheelchair and the wheelchair's like, oh, I've been waiting for you, bitch.
You gonna sit on me or not?
So the wheelchair is just, but the crazy shot of it, like just racing through like upstairs hallways, and it's just hauling ass after her. And she falls down the stairs.
Classic stairs scene.
John saves the day. Like, oh my goodness, my love has fallen at the bottom of the stairs. And he is like, oh, hell no, not my girl. So he starts running up the stairs. And then, dude, it's like hurricane winds. Yeah. Like, where did these hurricane fucking winds?
It's gusting like hell.
And he's just getting his ass tossed around. Like,
is this when he does the yell? Does he do the yell at this time?
Right before. Yes. So right when he sees his girl at the bottom of the stairs, and he's like, bitch, get outside. Like, go wait at the car for me. I got to handle this real quick.
Damn it, house.
Yeah, he's like, God damn you, you son of a bitch. What do you want? Which to me is just like a typical frustrated, overstimulated dad.
And it's like he's yelling it, and you're seeing the point of view from the top of the stairs, looking
Just
down.
like it's looking at him.
And it reminded me of a scary movie when she's like, "What do you want from me?"
What do
She's
you
spinning-
want, huh?
That's what he says. What do you want from me? Damn it!
Yeah. It's just so fucking
It's a
funny.
good scene.
It is, because that's like his like break where he's just like, man, fuck this house. I've been trying to help your ass this whole time, and you're gonna play these games with me? Like, what did I do to you?
I've done everything I can.
Yeah, like what more do you fucking want from me? The senator is just bewildered. The portrait of his dad starts to violently shake when he's sitting there after he put the necklace that John gave him on the frame. He puts it on there, and that thing is just fucking shaking, and he's just starting to freak out. And we actually see the senator gets the same vision of like his dad murdering. And so it's just all like coming to him. And meanwhile, back where John is in the house with the hurricane winds, the house has started to light itself on fire, starting with the stair rails.
It says, "You don't believe me? Believe me now."
Yeah, Senator's making his merry way to the house because he's called to it. And John is at the bottom of the stairs. He's like freaking out. And Senator starts walking up the stairs. Doesn't say hi to anybody. He's just like, I gotta go. I'm going up here.
Like, I already know where I'm going.
House is still on fire. As soon as the senator clears to get upstairs, the staircase just completely just crumbles. And John just can't believe what he's seeing. Then there's this cool scene where the chandelier is like hanging above his head. And it's just swaying back and forth, which made me think, I'm sure you had to have seen this movie, War of the Roses.
Oh, yes. In the center.
With Michael Douglas, yeah.
Yes.
That's what it made me think of. It made me think of the chandelier when they're like on the chandelier and they're still fucking fighting and they're hanging from that shit.
Yes. Tell our listeners your Michael Douglas reference.
Oh my God, guys. So I like was just he's such an asshole. I was reading that there was an actor in this movie by the name of, was it like Franklin Douglas or something? Which
Melvin
I think is
Douglas,
Melvin
Senator
Douglas.
Carmichael.
Okay, yeah. But I didn't put it together that the George C. Scott or S. Scott that's playing our main guy, John. I just assumed that he was Melvin Douglas, right? And I'll tell you why I assumed that is because he just looked an awful lot like Michael Douglas.
Just Google him, listeners.
I didn't bother, looking more into it, but I just said he kind of does look. He has like the same hair, kind of, as Michael Douglas. Like, it was just a blonde moment for me, and then I looked it up and was like, "Oh my God, that's not even the actor's name."
I'll give it to you though; he does look like Michael Douglas.
He does, right?
He like the Baldwins, right? Like he's like part of this big old family of actors.
Yes, all of those motherfucker Baldwins, they all look alike. But that was my.
Yes, I had to say it. When you said Michael Douglas, I was like, we got to tell him.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. So the senator, he's making his way up there. He barely misses the chandelier falling on him. Claire's all of a sudden back in the house because she just, I guess, hears ruckus. And she's like, I'll save you. So she saves him. They make it out of the house. And then we just get this vision that he's continuing to have of seeing his dad drown. So Senator isn't really there physically. He's still in his office and he's having these visions, and he ends up, I guess, having a heart attack is basically what it boils down to. He just drops dead and he's carried away by the coroner's office, and we are left to look at the rubble of the house. There's nothing left in that house. It was burnt down all the way to the foundation, burnt to a crisp. But we do see one item that happened to survive the fire. We see a little music box. We see that same music
Same little
box.
box. Yep.
And then very cheeky, it just starts playing its little tune. It's just like, hee hee.
That music box theme song.
Yep. And that's it. That's the movie. It ends right there.
It ends really well. I mean, we didn't talk too much about the cinematography is really great. It's got that old feel. It belongs on VHS. You won't get disappointed if you get the DVD, which I watched it on DVD. I don't know. How did you watch it on Tubi?
Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
It just happens to work out. All these movies.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the same. Yeah. It's not a big deal. And I really do put this movie, it will be in my journal, my TV film journal. I think it was really done really well, and it gave me a nostalgic feel. And I don't know if, I knew I liked that era, that time era, but like I'm starting to feel a little bit more closer to these 60s, 70s types of horror movies than I am to like the 80s and 90s. But it's just because the storyline, this, like you said, this movie draws out, it does have its times of, you have to pay attention, but so is Rosemary's Baby, and a bit of so is The Exorcist, and those kind of movies has this feeling, and I think this one nailed it.
It has a slow burn, but it keeps you engaged the whole time too.
Right. It was a great story. It was nothing too far fetched. I compare this to movies that I enjoy because, like you said, like The Conjuring or The Nun. Once it starts getting out of hand, like The Mirror in The Conjuring, and then the last nun, she's floating around in like fire. Like once it starts doing all that, okay. And I understand in this movie, the house catches on fire, but it's not far fetched to what we are accustomed to, right? We got these odd, bangs and creaks and noises in the house that's always plagued us forever.
Well, I mean, every old house is going to make noise, right? My house isn't that old, and it makes fucking noises. Yeah, like it's just not. It's very feasible.
Right. You don't see like apparitions walking around in the house, right? So
yeah,
and that's kind of how our modern day movies are now, right? Our modern day movies are able to see more of what you're about to be haunted by or terrified by, and in this kind of movie, you really don't see anything that's happening, and until the very end, right? And then when it kind of comes out like that, this boy just wants to be saved or found. Or the truth to come out. But I think the movie overall, I give it an 8. I really do enjoy the movie. It was
That's
really
what
good
I gave it. I gave it an 8, and I really like how the ending, it kind of just lets you determine, like, it leaves it up for interpretation. Like, well, what does that really mean? The music box is still there, and it's like, what do you mean?
Like it's an anthology. Like, is somebody going to find that and then it's going to inherit?
Does it continue another cycle? Is
exactly.
that a haunted item? Just that item, is that haunted, and is that why that stayed behind? Or like, you would think this little Joseph kid's fucking happy, but at this point, like, he got recovered from the well, and everybody got figured out.
Solved. Yeah. So,
but maybe it's not enough. I don't know.
maybe because the house gave him powers. I don't know. We could go into some, far-fetched ideas, but the fact is that it gave us a creep and a thought to think about if the movie was to come out again.
Yes. Sequel. And I do love, and I'm like really resistant against watching sequels because most of them suck. Which Gremlins that's why I never saw that's why I didn't watch the third Exorcist, because I was just like,
I suggest watching it.
I thought the second one is like, okay, I'm good on that.
Yeah,
I'm just good where that ends.
It's nothing like that. You'll enjoy it, especially with our boy George C. Scott.
Does he have a big role in that?
Big role. Oh, okay. So he's main focus.
He's like the main dude. Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's a detective.
So maybe I will watch that.
Yeah, you'll like it.
On my list.
It does have some good stuff. So I mean, if you like it, we can maybe do that as the next. For the next episode.
I'm down to cover anything. I don't really care.
Okay, let's do it.
I just love movies.
Yes. All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you for tuning in, and we've got some discussions to have to see what movie is next. Right?
Yeah.
We got to figure
Yeah.
out
Yeah. I
what
mean,
movie to cover next for you guys.
yeah. Let us know if you want us to review any movies of your choice. Again, you can find our email in the description.
Yes, and give us a follow on Instagram at the Cinema Creature Club.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for listening to the Cinema Creature Club. We hope you enjoyed this last episode.
And don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram at Cinema Creature Club. And also, if you guys have any suggestions on cool movies we should cover, shoot us an email at cinemacreatureclub@gmail.com.